cosmos. In the vast universe, the history of humanity is but a flash of light from a lone star. The life of a single person should be lost in space and time. But among the stars, there is one light that burns brighter than all others. The light of Samus Aran. Her battles extend beyond her life and etch themselves into history. Here, another chapter of that history will be written.
Hello, my name is Ozzie, and today I am playing one of my absolute favourite games of all time, Metroid Prime. I played this a lot back on GameCube, as well as its sequels Metroid Prime Echoes and Corruption on the Wii. Now that they are available to play on the Wii U, that gives me a way to record them and share them with you, and how can I resist a chance to do that? Unlike previous videos I've done, I don't have a facecam available while I'm playing on console, so I'm going to do a running commentary on my gameplay instead, going through what I know and explaining why I do things a certain way. I will be rushing through the game somewhat, not anything like a speedrun, but because I want to play through all three titles, I don't want the videos to last forever. It should also go without saying that these videos will contain a lot of spoilers because I'll be running through the whole game more or less. I'm not necessarily aiming for 100% because I don't have all the upgraded locations memorized, but I will be collecting everything I can remember and I'll be playing on the harder difficulty. Metroid Prime kicks off when Samus detects a distress beacon coming from a space vessel in orbit above Talon 4. Following a brief cutscene, I gain control of Samus and I go through some simple tasks aimed at teaching players the controls. This whole space vessel area is basically the game's tutorial, and you'll notice I fumble around a bit as I'm not used to the Wii control scheme. I'm much more used to the GameCube controls, and throughout all of these videos I'll continue pressing the wrong button to do things, none more frustrating than shooting when I want to jump. To begin with, Samus is equipped with her charge beam, scan visor, missiles, morph ball, which you'll see later, and grapple beam, which you'll also see later. The charge beam is the basic weapon you see me firing. The scan visor is used for scanning things, which can give players information, story, lore, as well as being used to activate certain devices, like I did with the terminal just before. Missiles are a more powerful weapon, but have limited ammunition. They're also used to blast open certain things. The morph ball is used to navigate smaller spaces and has other uses later in the game, and lastly, the grapple beam is used to swing from grapple points, which you'll see later on. So I just finished what is essentially some simple target practice, and now I'm making my way into the vessel through its airlock. I scan this terminal to start pressurizing the airlock, which will activate the door in front of me. You'll notice that I have to shoot at each door. This disables the shield covering the door, but really what happens is the console is loading up the next room when I shoot the door. On the GameCube, players would sometimes have to wait several seconds before the door would open, but the Wii U seems to handle this all just fine. In this room there appears to be some sort of infestation of these small bug-like creatures, which have killed off the humanoid figures lying on the ground. I quickly make my way through and charge up a shot to clear the wreckage there before proceeding onto the next corridor. This quick cutscene shows me a small passageway that I can roll down using Morph Ball, mostly as a hint to new players. At the end of the passageway is a map room, so I do not need to go down there, but I do anyway just to show it. All this does is fill in the surrounding area on my map, so I can get an idea of where I can go, but it doesn't really give me anything useful. So rolling back down the corridor, I now continue through the next door into an elevator shaft. Like many things, I have to use my scan visor to activate it. This then triggers another cutscene to show the lift hologram activating, which I just need to walk into to trigger. After writing that down, I shoot my way into the next chamber, which contains a simple hazard and a tunnel that I have to use Morph Ball to get through. At the other end of the tunnel is a room with some large tanks in the middle and some surviving, although critically injured humanoids known as space pirates. I quickly dispatch of these and continue to the next room. One thing I never realised until I played through this game several times is that this is actually their vessel. I'd always thought before that they were invading it and just got attacked. It's actually pretty obvious the ship is theirs if you read the logs, but somehow I never managed to figure this out. As you just saw there, I used a missile to quickly destroy the defense turret that was shooting at me, which in turn dropped some missile ammo for me. All enemies have a chance to drop health and ammo when you kill them, so even if you do not need to kill something to continue, it can sometimes be useful if you need the supplies. At the moment, I am scanning a few objects around the room. The orange icons typically give small bits of info, however enemies and items will give logbook entries the first time you scan them. The red icons are usually something you can activate or add logbook entries for story and lore, so you generally want to find all of them. I quickly check around the room here to make sure I didn't miss any important log entries, although I think I might have actually missed some earlier when I wasn't thinking about it. So make sure if you play through that you check through every room just in case. Up the elevator here are some more injured space pirates I need to take care of as I make my way around to the exit. Moving on, I proceed through this corridor and straight into the next room, where I forget there was a defense turret, but they're not too difficult to deal with and I quickly dispatch it, although it would have been much quicker if I just used a missile in the first place. I then need to take a quick ride down this elevator where some more surprises waiting at the bottom, although at least I remember these ones. The first thing I have to deal with is a much less injured space pirate, but with cover from the elevator, he's not much of a threat. After that, I scan this terminal, activating the morph ball device on the floor. I'm not really sure why this kind of security system exists on a space pirate vessel, but hey, it works for me. On the other side of this door are two more defense turrets, which won't see you if you stand back. However, I didn't realise this door would close itself again if I stood too far back from it. After reopening the door and taking out the remaining turret, I scan the terminal to activate the next morph ball device, take a quick detour to save through the door on the left. Proceeding through this next large door will trigger a small cutscene that kicks off the first boss fight for the game. While it's possible to start killing the boss right away, by scanning it, I reveal a weak spot in its mouth which I can now lock onto. All I need to do to kill this boss is position myself at a gap in the blue barrier and just keep shooting. I can avoid the parasite queen's attack by simply sidestepping as she fires, and even if it does hit, it doesn't deal a huge amount of damage. At this stage in the fight, when the barrier is spinning all over the place, you can keep firing, and some shots will actually get through. This will save a small amount of time, although by using missiles I could have killed the queen much quicker than I am. That said, you can see I've already nearly killed her, and after one more phase of spinning barriers I finish her off.
Evacuate immediately.
Now starts the escape sequence, in which you have 7 minutes to escape the vessel before it explodes. Speedrunners can get through this in a ridiculously short amount of time, given how much you get, but to escape with 2 minutes or so remaining is really easy to achieve, and you'd have to dawdle a fair bit to run out of time completely. At the top of this elevator, I'll quickly scan the terminal, which will disable a defense turret around the corner, which helps save some more time. This room I'm entering now is actually the same room I was in before with the large tanks, except now everything is exploding and on fire. I mess up getting to the upper platform here because apparently there's a hole in the room, which I didn't pay attention to. But I can't actually head straight back towards the entrance from here due to the collapse, and have to take the scenic route through what I assume is some sort of exhaust or ventilation shafts. As I travel through these tunnels, I keep spamming my energy beam, as lots of small parasites will come in waves heading towards me. Individually they don't really do anything, but in swarms they do some real damage. I take out what I can and keep going. Any damage I do take will usually be offset by health dropped by the parasites I've killed. Shooting this doesn't actually do anything, I just felt it made sense with the sort of panicky situation I'm in. After this is even more tunnels. In here are some more defense turrets to take care of, as well as a swarm of parasites which you can ignore if you get through the door quickly. This room contains another hazard that can crush and kill you, but all you have to do is follow this piston thing to the left and exit the room at the first chance. Once I finally get to the end of the tunnels and catch a glimpse of Ridley, I have to use my grapple beam to cross the room. If I fall here, I have to go back and try again. Here I scan another terminal to disable a defense turret, and then scan a terminal at the end of the room to activate the lift. Just ignore the fact that I didn't actually finish scanning. Boom, 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 and smack it into the lift. I've now lost most of my abilities. All I can do is shoot my basic beam, which can't even be charged, and use my scan visor. I also had and lost the barrier suit upgrade, although at this point that only means I change look. After getting lost and confused in these narrow passageways, I get to the end, which puts me very close to my ship. I just need to wait for the room to depressurize. That's that! With over 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock, I've made it back to my ship, where I can witness the vessel explode spectacularly and see Ridley fly down to Talon 4, where I will follow. This ends the opening of the game, as well as this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed playing, and I hope you look forward to future episodes. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.